All right, thank you for joining us. Up next, of course, we'll take a look at the commodity price watch on the program here. I'm being joined by Nkechi at the Corporate Affairs and at the Lagos Commodity and Future Exchange. He joins us now via the phone. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you for coming on board.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay. All right, thank you. So talk to us about, we're putting an eye on some commodities over on the program here. Of course, I know that you did also send in some figures earlier today, but let's look at the prices for some of these commodities, especially the paddy rice, yellow maize, and soya beans, cassava, and all of that. Talk to us, what is driving the prices at the moment?
Okay, I think we'll probably start with paddy rice, for example. I'm sure that you're well aware that we're stepping into the harvest season, or harvest has actually begun for paddy rice. So we've seen in the past few weeks that aggregators, our farmers of paddy rice have less quantities available in the system, either because people who bought earlier at the peak of the season have started hoarding to take advantage of the availability of paddy rice in the system. So we've seen that the past few weeks has been a bit more difficult to get paddy, which has driven the the price rather of paddy quite high. We've seen that paddy rice is being, or last week anyway, as at the close of the work week last week, that's 4th of August, we've seen that aggregators are able to access paddy rice in Nasarawa for about 450 naira per kg. That is about 450,000 per ton. And looking at the effect that has on the other side, post-processing, you see that it has driven the price of processed rice that we eat quite high. We're seeing bags of rice going for 40,000, 45,000, and even on our own end on the exchange, we've seen those things play out real time, because we've got one of the mills participating actively on the exchange, and we've seen how the existing pricing at the farms or at the aggregating points, or the inavailability of paddy, is also affecting the pricing of processed rice. So using I'll be focusing a bit more on the paddy rice right now, because that's one of the active trading commodities on LCFC at this point. And then we've seen for other commodities like soybeans that did around 310 per kg in Benue as at the close of last week. We also saw yellow maize that you'll be doing about 420 naira per kg. So you'll be looking at multiplying that by 1,000 to get what the farmers or the aggregators are currently buying at the farm gate in tons. Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you, what really determines when the price moves up or when the price comes down? Is it as a result of market forces? Do we have maybe from a policy direction of the federal government, or maybe supply gap? So what really determines when the price goes up or when it comes down?
Okay, so there are multiple factors, multiple factors that determine the market forces. I already mentioned one. So we see that at the peak of the harvest season, you start seeing that the availability of those commodities are everywhere, and see that we've got more people holding these commodities, which then sees the pricing of these commodities come down in order for participants to be competitive. But as we move further and further away from the harvest season, you tend to see that people start hoarding because they know that in a week or two the price, they will make more profit because the price is going to go up. You have situations where there are issues of flooding that happened towards the end of last year. You see that people's farms are being washed away, and then their yield it's probably cut down to 70, 60, 40%. That also usually seems to affect the market prices. And yes, definitely federal government or state government policies, declarations, interventions tend to act as market drive forces in terms of what moves the pricing. So we could see that with the issues of the border closure that happened a while back, we're seeing that the pricing of coming back to rice now began to rise. Multiple factors also come into play, especially since Nigeria is still experiencing a lot of importation of commodities and having to rely a lot on the FX pricing. So there are quite a bit of forces that come into play that drive the pricing.
Okay.
So it just depends on which you would like to focus on. Yeah.
Okay. I also want us to talk about, I know quite a lot of people use palm oil compared to other products like shea butter, compared to cassava, sesame seed, and all of that. But maybe you need to take us through some of these commodities, for instance, yellow maize, soya beans, cassava, sesame seed, but more especially the palm oil, which of course is a daily demand or commodities for most consumers. Talk to us about this.
Okay, so palm oil itself, we've seen that for palm oil, we've actually noticed the pricing of palm oil for the past few weeks has been relatively steady going on, going back quite a few weeks. So we have about 1,400 naira per liter from Natural State. So that has been, we've seen a bit of steady movement in the past few weeks. Palm oil in itself has been seen to be rather profitable for the Nigerian economy because quite a bit of export goes into that. But we're seeing that we're only able to do just the minimal aspect of what our capacity for palm oil can do. We understand that a lot of the producers that we have majority of their what we would call it of their capacity being taken up, and a lot of them are looking to expand their capacity to cater to both the local and even the foreign demand. But we're seeing that palm oil has positioned itself, or the Nigerian economy has positioned itself to give considerable, figures or considerable numbers in terms of providing palm oil for export. But we've seen that the pricing from our what we've got back from our contracts so far, going back to the past few weeks in the local markets, have remained relatively steady.
Okay. I want us to wrap up with this. How is inflation playing a role in demands for palm oil? That's one. On the second note, talk to us about the consumption level, the quantity of consumption in Nigeria. How are we meeting the demands? Talk to us. Maybe if you can quantify the demands for us, that will help us get a picture of what to consume in Nigeria.
Okay, so let me start with how the inflation rate is affecting the demand of palm oil.
Yes.
Well, it is not even specific to just palm oil. We are all well aware that as the inflation rates go up, the pricing of food commodities would go up, and then which invariably means that the demand for those things, because the purchase power of Nigerians now becomes relatively low. In terms of consumption, we've seen about in 2019 1.6 million metric tons domestically, that's locally in 2019, which went up to about 1.7 million in about 2020, and coincidentally that also went up in that last year at 1.8 million metric tons. So whether that would be an indication of the fact that inflation in itself is not affecting the consumption, or the fact that the population in itself is a growing population. That would be one of the reasons why you see that pricing grow. But what we've come to see is that the purchasing power over time for a lot of Nigerians is beginning to gradually decrease.